The delivery model can have a variety of methodologies. The majority of those, especially what we call the bid model, where you hire an architect and they do a set of plans and then they put it out to bid, it's full of the 4 Ds of distrust, distance, dilution, and disaster. And it really is a house of cards. And I can go into that in a lot of detail. We'll go through a number of those items of why that happens here. But the basic, there's 2 reasons why this is true. The premise seems like if I can get a set of drawings and I can put it out to 100 different general contractors, obviously one of those is going to be lower than everybody else. And if I've got 100 of them bidding, I'm going to have the very lowest price that I could possibly get. That presupposes one item, and there's a number of problems with that particular concept, but it presupposes one item, and that's that the architect is the smartest guy in the room, and that you've got a great set of drawings and a great way to do it, and a significant approach that he's got everything correct and to the best value of what you have. Our presupposition is that the architects and engineers aren't the smartest people in the room, and I'll go through the process to show you why we believe that. And I've been an architect for 40 years. Those type of projects usually end up with this scenario. You don't know if you can see that, but the little dinghy here is titled the original contract, and that big boat is called the change order. And that can happen quite easily to you on a building project. The ideas that can impact the cost are just plain brought in too late. You hire the architect hires the engineers, a general contractor is hired, or they put it out to bid, and then major trades are hired. But there's literally no communication between the major trades and the architect or the engineers. And I can tell you, and you can just take any project, it doesn't matter what you're doing, but you're going to find that the mechanical, the electrical, the plumbing, and the structural portions of any project you go to do, like a church, is going to be 60% of the total cost. Just mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and structural, not the architectural items. And how architects handle that, very honestly, is that they typically, they design the building and we get the pretty picture, and then we take that to what we call our consultants and we say, here, you guys do your thing, and we have no idea what in the world they're doing. They just go work in a vacuum, they go get it done, and they really don't have the very best ways of going about doing that. And so the BGW model has both the architect and the general contractor coming in at the same time. In this case, in our area here, it's Hilber's company with BGW. We've done something like 30 different projects together in the time that we've been doing them in California. And then the major trades are brought in from that area and brought into the decision making to help us in where it is. I have been an architect since 1972. I've got engineers in my office that are almost in that same category. We've got some young engineers. But somebody that does mechanical systems day in, day out, that's what they do for a living, and have been doing that for a long time, is better at giving us the best value, better at giving us the best system for energy, and better at telling us what's wrong with our stuff than our guys are. And I'm not saying we have bad guys. I think we got great guys. But everyone has that same exact problem. So a structural engineer, as an example, can design a project, and he will have a design that will be absolutely perfect, and it'll meet all the codes, but it's using elements that aren't readily available. When we get people in the trade looking at that, they use elements and pieces that are readily available. So we're getting to the same place, but we do it in 2 different ways. We like the idea of a trinity partnership where we've got 3 points of a triangle. The owner is on one point, the contractor's on one point, the architect's on the other, God in the center. Every project is going to have some kind of problems, and I don't care who it is, who you work with, where it is, including us. You can't go out, and especially in California, you can't go out and just build a fairly complex project and think you're not going to have any problems of any kind as you go through that. And what happens when we get problems is we put them in the middle of that triangle. That's really where the problems belong. God, give us the wisdom on what to do with that. How will we take care of that, and where is it going to happen? The great majority of BGW projects finish up at less construction cost than the guaranteed maximum cost by an average of about 4%. So where projects usually come out at 103, 104, 105% of the original cost, ours are coming out at 96% of the original cost. And I'll show you why.